Hi everyone. So today you're working from home and you're going to be finishing off any work that you didn't finish in class yesterday or the last time you had math. And then what I'd like you to do is focus on learning or reviewing how to factor complex trinomials. I'm going to go through one example with you here, and then you can use that as your exemplar when you're working through some of the practice questions. So that's going to be your goal for today. So finish up anything that you did not finish from last class when you had with me, and then also reviewing how to factor complex trinomials. I'm also going to be um, online in a Google Meet during study hall, so you can pop in and ask me questions if you didn't understand the example that I'm going to go through now. So factoring complex trinomials, what we're going to do is we're going to factor this by decomposition, and the reason for that is because the value in front of the x squared is not 1, it's a number that's higher than that, and there's no way to eliminate this 2 by dividing each term by 2 because 3 is not divisible by 2 and neither is 35. So what we need to do is factor this by decomposition. So step number 1 is you want to take the first term, which is a 2, and the last term, negative 35, and multiply them together. Okay, that's the same step every single time. Take the first value and the last value, multiply them together. So in this case, that gives us negative 70. And what we're going to be doing is using this acronym MAN to help us come up with values that we can factor this by. So the M stands for multiplying. So we're looking for two values now that will multiply to negative 70. I know we have two of them here, 2 and negative 35, but they're not always the values that we need because those two values also have to satisfy the second condition for the A, and that is they have to add to negative 3. Okay, and 2 times negative 35 does give us negative 70, but when you add them together, you get negative 33, and what we need is for them to add to negative 3. So then you want to think of two other numbers that when you multiply them, you get negative 70, but then when you add, you get negative 3. So this might take you a couple minutes. If you want to use your multiplication table, you can do that, or just start listing any two numbers. When you multiply them together, you get negative 70, and then check to see when you add them if you get negative 3. So I've already went ahead and I did that, and those values are negative 10 and 7. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take out that middle term, the negative 3x, and replace it with our two new terms. Okay, so I've eliminated it. Just going to switch over here. All right, this is gone, and I've replaced it with two new terms, negative 10 and positive 7. Okay, in the next step, what you're going to do is just focus on the first two terms, the 2x squared and negative 10x, and ask yourself, what can I common factor out of those two terms? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the first term and the second term by 2x. Okay, because they're both divisible by 2x. You want the biggest number for that you can divide 2 and negative 10 by. That would be a 2. And then you look at the letters, and I can common factor an x out of the first term and the second term. So I'm going to use 2x for those two terms. For the next two terms, I'm going to do the same thing. So what can I divide 7x by, and what can I divide negative 35 by? Okay, they're both divisible by 7. So I'm going to common factor a 7 out of both of those terms. So that's the answer that I get. So I'm just going to show you how I did that. So 2x divided by 2x, sorry, 2x squared divided by 2x is going to give me x. And what I factored out of there is my 2x in the front. I'm going to write that in the front. Okay, so I'm writing in the front what I've divided each of those terms by, right, which is 2x. And then I'm writing down what I have left over. So 2x squared divided by 2x is x. For the second term, negative 10x divided by 2x is negative 5. And then for these two terms over here, I'll use different color. So write down what I factored out first. So I factored out a 7, where I'm dividing each of the terms by 7. And what am I left with? So 7x divided by x is x. And negative 35 divided by 7 is negative 5. Okay, so that's the process of how I got to that answer, which I have on the next line as well. So it's written twice. What you want to be looking for here, if you've done this correctly, you should have the same thing in this bracket as you do in this bracket. And we do, right? We have x minus 5, x minus 5. If that doesn't happen, you know you've messed something up here, so you need to go back and take a look. All right, now in the last step, what you're going to do is just write down what's common, which is the x minus 5, and then you're going to write down what's left over, which is the 2x plus 7. Okay, so what's common? X minus 5. What's left over? 2x and plus 7. And that is the answer. So now it's fully factored. Okay? All right, good luck. If you've got any questions, meet me in study hall. I'm also going to post some review questions that you need to do for this lesson. Thanks for listening.